How's it going, everybody? It's your boy, Lieutenant Dan, here live from Orlando, Florida, with another unintentional grounding live. Oh my goodness, here we go. Make sure that you guys follow me at UNGR_show on Twitter and Instagram. And make sure that you guys check out the show here on YouTube as well as on twitch.tv/gaming_with_Lieutenant Dan, LT Dan. Well, that was a doozy. That was something. How do I get into this one? Well, first of all, I want to say hi to all of these absolute legends sitting over here in the chat. I mean, goodness, if it wasn't for these guys, where would we be? That being said, this show is going to kind of mirror my older shows where I wasn't even on the screen. And I hope that you guys enjoy the show. And I want to give a shout out to everybody here and then go back into doing kind of what we have done that made this such a fantastic show. So starting at the top, started up at the bottom, started at the bottom, then we're here. Woo, Jock Money, good to see you, my man. Falcons fan 408, Anime Dolphin, good to see you, buddy. Make sure you follow Anime Dolphin here on YouTube. Fantastic Dolphins breakdowns. Woon Carter, good to see you, my man. The Matthew 427, Taylor McPherson, good to see you, my man. Brian Long, Blizz, good to see Woon Carter in the building. Gone, Falcons fan 408, Defunct. Mr. Beasley, good to see you, my man. Steel, what up, bro? Good to see you. Might have done some repeats there. If you haven't said hi in the chat, make sure you say hi. Make sure you share this out to all your friends and family. Make sure you share this out onto the Twitters. If you would be so kind, share this show link on Twitter. Make sure you go out there, hit that retweet on the actual tweet from this, hit that like button. Make sure you hit that like button here on YouTube. Really helps us out. It's for free. It helps the algorithm pass this around to all your friends, all your family, and all those Falcons fans that want to see and hear some fantastic Falcons content. Let's get straight into this. And let me say, I'm not disappointed. And there will be 110 million people that are in here that will be like, why isn't Angry Dan immediately coming out here, flipping tables and doing things, giving them the smackdown and sending them to the hotel? I don't think there's really a need to get upset about this game. Yes, I know. The Falcons had a 16-point lead. I know. I get it. I get it, Chad. I understand. I hear you already. Man, they just need to finish. They need to learn how to, those season woes. This team hasn't been able to actually finish games since early Matt Ryan. So I'm very, very confused what you want me to feel there. Defense looked hot, like the pressure from it looked a lot like kind of a Ravens-esque style defense, very Patriots-style defense. We definitely need bigger bodies there. Nothing that Grady Jarrett couldn't do. He even played some 5-tech in this game, if you saw my tweet. The defense looked like it actually could make a difference. And then late in the game, I felt like it's either they didn't have the subs for it, guys were too tired. They played a lot of soft zone, which is interesting because the more I watched this game, the more I was like, oh, this is taking on the repeat narrative Falcons that we've seen for many, many years, since 1998, if you've been around that long watching Falcons games since then. But this Falcons team kind of followed a similar path. Show something new, something exotic, something different that the Falcons haven't shown in a while. Capitalize on said newness for several quarters. And then take said foot off gas pedal from driving, new Ferrari. Get out of the Ferrari, get into their Kia Forte, and with some transmission issues just going and drive away off into the sunset at 5 miles per hour. And the pressure I saw from the defense was adequate, but then they just went into soft shell zone, which doesn't exist, by the way. That's just called putting guys out on specific parts of the field, hoping that wide receivers run into you like pinballs on those little bumpers. But when the Falcons wanted to be tough, they were tough. They were actually pretty terrifying, actually. There was actually points on that in that game throughout the first 3 quarters, even, early fourth quarter. There was a little flash here, a little flash there of the Falcons doing some things that I was like, I don't know how you started to do this. I don't know how AK-47 already has a sack. I don't know how Grady Jarrett is getting moved around the line and creating pressure at all kinds of places, as if I shouldn't already know that Grady Jarrett would create pressure from any particular part of the field. You'd be playing safety and create pressure. But as I watched this team move, I just looked at the offense and was like, man, there's something about this Falcons offense that just feels like a misfit toy, like a very, very good collegiate offense playing in the NFL. And that's going to maybe win you 3 games, 4 games, maybe you win 5. But that's not going to win you 8, 9, 10 games. That's not going to compete for the division. That's not going to compete for playoffs. Not like I was expecting that. So please don't get me wrong. Everybody in here, don't get upset. Like I know that you guys have lots to say, but please hold your tongues for 1 second. The more I watched this Falcons team, the more I was like, this isn't it. It's kind of it. It's like trending towards it. But this isn't exactly it. It's like getting Christmas presents in July. It's like getting Christmas presents in July. All of the ooh and ah and majesty of what you're getting Christmas presents for and why it's so important and the feeling you get and all that. That's what I felt like when I was watching this game. Was just like, oh, thanks for the present, I guess. This is kind of what I needed this. I wanted this. But this is not it. It's it's okay. Here. Let's put it this way. I think what I'm actually trying to get at here is it's like ordering ice cream and getting strawberry when you ordered chocolate. You got ice cream, but you got strawberry. Now, that doesn't mean that, you bitch and moan. but if somebody, gave me, a nice strawberry cone and I said I ordered a chocolate milkshake, that's exactly what happened here. I don't think that Marcus Mariota looked terrible, but I think that he looked like a guy that was unsure to throw the ball. Let's actually bring it down. And you guys tell me what you think in the chat. I'm reading the chat. I'm side-eyeing, I'm taking a look at it, okay? Yeah, I'm pointing over here for my chat because that's where my monitor is. That's where y'all are. I watched this Falcons team and I go, Marcus Mariota has got a pretty decent running skill and a pretty decent passing skill, but he looks like a guy that's scared to throw that ball because it's going to get picked. And then when he just chucks it up there, it's with no purpose and no value. And then on top of that, we actually played very well against the Saints defense, yet we could not for the life of us bring Patterson in to run when we really needed him to run. So it's not like we didn't run the right guy. Patterson's the guy. I don't think Damian Williams is even close to the guy that we need. I don't think he's it. But I think that Tyler Algier is, but we haven't even seen Tyler Algier. So my next question becomes, they took care of Pitts like it was nothing. They took care of Pitts like it was nothing. I'll have to go look back on the film, but they basically double-teamed Pitts and then single-teamed everybody else and were able to make Mariota so uncomfortable to throw that it was actually mind-boggling why we didn't throw more. And I've yet to look at the game stats themselves. So let's pull up the game stats for everybody in here that wants to hear about some really shitty stats. They might actually not be shitty. Okay, here we go. Let's pull up these stats. Marcus Mariota, 20 of 33 for 215 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So he only missed 13 passes. So I want everybody in this room to discuss this. When I say Drake London, 5 catches, 74 yards. Zacchaeus, 4 receptions, 49 yards, and the fumble. Cardero Hodge, 3 receptions, 38 yards. Kyle Pitts, 2 receptions for 19. Anyone in here want to explain that one? He did do a lot of blocking. Okay, all right, fine. Patterson had 3 receptions. That's one more reception than Pitts for 16 yards. Then they threw once to Williams, once to Frisker. Actually, there was multiple times that he threw to Frisker and to Parker Hess. And to Bryan Edwards, his single throw in the end zone that he dropped. So hold up, because I'm going one thing at a time. First, we're going to assess offense, then we'll assess defense. So my first thing that I want to say is the biggest issues with the Falcons winning today was, number one, we did not get Kyle Pitts nearly added in, and then the guys that were actually winning, we weren't getting involved nearly enough. Marcus Mariota on 12 carries for 72 yards and a touchdown is like, okay, I get it. I know what this kind of team is. And Cordero Patterson for 22 carries for 120 yards is fantastic, a touchdown. But Avery Williams and Damian Williams, 2 carries each, 2 yards and 7 yards, and you want them to have impact. You know they're going to be the guys that aren't going to get the most impact. But if Drake London is the thing that's blowing up that defense, why are we not targeting Drake London more? And the more I looked at this team, the more I kind of just felt like, I don't know if Marcus Mariota is comfortable to throw this ball in this offense because we weren't rolling him out when we needed to roll him out. We weren't getting him on the run where he's the most effective. And if this was the playbook in full, and I hope not, if this was the playbook in full, this was like ordering ice cream, man, and getting strawberry when you order chocolate. You were shown one thing in the preseason, and then this exact thing got shut down because you couldn't get the quote-unquote unicorn elite super athletes uncovered, and you completely stopped doing what made you successful at the beginning of the game towards the end of the game because you had nothing else to offer. 0. So, all right. Okay. All right. So that's just the offensive side. Chill, relax, chill. Let's go to the next part. Let's go to the next part of this. This needs to be the next part. Okay? Defensively, this team could, and supposedly We were leaning on our DBs to do the job. Our DBs got absolutely smoked. Our DBs got absolutely smoked. I mean, Casey Hayward was just doing wacky, Laffy Taffy kind of stuff out there. And AJ was just off his mark every time. And you could tell the linebackers were like kind of in it, but they're not really guys that should be out there covering. So you start to play more zone, and then the tides turn. And the two big things from this game that really got me wasn't even just like the defense just getting absolutely outclassed towards the end of the game, but that when we could capitalize, we made huge, major mistakes. We made major mistakes in the most clutch moments. There was that false start when we were near the goal line. We got backed up. And there was the fumble by Mariota. He got hit right in the chest. Ball was right in his hands, and he drops it. We still almost, by the sake of the refs, and the refs did help. The refs did. Not that it wasn't unjust. It wasn't unfair, because the Saints did do some stupid stuff. But the Falcons could have kicked a 63-yard field goal, potentially. It needed to go a ways, but there was a chance there. I just now look at Mariota and go, I'm not satisfied with that. I'm not ready to bring in Ritter. We've got to play the Rams next week. I'd like to start Ritter off on a team that's not going to eat his lunch because the Rams are pissed. The Rams are going to be pissed. The Rams will be absolutely upset. And they see a team, which, by the way, we scored 26 points. That's a big win for the dub. That's a big dub by an offensive standard. We scored over 20 points. Very interesting. It's very interesting that this team, the way they played, which wasn't that it was a bad way to play. It wasn't. If you can run that kind of offense, you're going to win a lot of games. You're just going to need a better rotation of running backs because Jay Ajayi needs to be, not Jay Ajayi, but Jay Ajayi. That's kind of what Cordell Patterson looked like. But Cordell Patterson was kicking ass, son. He was out there kicking ass. What we need is Tyler Algier. We need Algier. We don't need Avery Williams or Damian Williams sitting in there. We don't. We need big, physical, meaty running backs back there that are going to bounce off guys and get through. And if you can have those two dudes that are crushing it and killing it, like an Ingram, just as that's something I want to just point out, then you don't have issues. You're handing off the ball and you're making first downs. That's just my opinion. Whew. So, here's my immediate assessment of the team and like what needs to start being like the slow burn to success here. Number one, I would not hold my breath for Desmond Ritter to start next week or the week after or the week after that. They're going to let Mariota get his opportunity, his time. I don't even think Desmond Ritter is ready. And I'm a big Desmond Ritter supporter, and I don't think that he's even close to ready. But it does bring up a very interesting scenario. A very interesting scenario nonetheless. And I know a lot of people people in the chat already probably are having some type of idea about this. But we've lost the first game of the season. We lost it against a division rival. And there's a mosquito in my room. You've got to be kidding me. There's a mosquito in my room. Ridiculous. We've lost the first game and we've lost it to a division rival, which really hurts. Now, we weren't trying to, expect some type of miraculous Super Bowl run here or playoff run. But I can tell you, this is a more exciting Falcons team. Now, if unfortunately you haven't had any time to actually reel back and get rid of, seasons past and all your anger from all the previous moments, then I can understand why you're probably very angry right now. Everyone in chat is entitled to their opinion, obviously. But the way I think about it is, if you can tighten up some of those mistakes, you are one of those teams that's not fun to play against, and you'll start getting that particular reputation as you play like that. The Titans did that for a while. They were not a fun team to play with necessarily, but that wasn't until they really got Derrick Henry. Now, the Falcons could be one of those teams that's just not fun to play against and, has like a 50-50 record usually every year. And then eventually, boom, they skyrocket into something because they, are able to beat up on teams late in the season and get wins. But the Atlanta Falcons right now, this version of them is a lot more fun. I honestly am having more fun watching the Atlanta Falcons, even though we lost. And okay, so it's the Saints. Yeah, I'm pissed. We lost against the Saints. I'm pissed. Go ahead. Clip this. Send it to Saints fans so they can be like, look at that Falcons fan. He's pissed. Yeah, I'm upset. You guys would be too if we beat you. But what really gets me is this team is still half-baked. They're just a half-baked squad. They aren't a fully baked pie or cake. The dough, the cake batter is not set yet. This is not even close to what we might be next year. So you're probably gonna say, Dan's already thinking way too far ahead, one game at a time. We suck, cut everybody. I don't think there's any reason to cut anybody or get overly upset about losing. Losing to the Saints, yes, is terrible. I hate it. Y'all hate it. Let's not pretend that we don't hate it. But where are we going to go from there? Where are we going to go from there? Could we end up channeling and making some of our mistakes fixed up and challenge good teams in the NFC this year? Challenge them like we've just done against the New Orleans Saints, who I wouldn't say they're necessarily a good team, but I would say they're definitely above average. Now, we played against them, so I don't know where that bar is, but this Falcons team dominated them for 3 quarters. Then, yes, in the 4th quarter, they let up and they got beat. Let's not even pretend that didn't happen. But looking at this Falcons team, I can definitely say right now, they're decent. This Saints team might be above average, teetering on good, if their roster continues to stay healthy. Because that's, I think, really the only thing that's holding them up. Jameis is already looking beat up. Yes, he threw some lasers. I get that. I understand that. That's kind of the assessment. We're going to lose a lot of games if we keep playing this style of defense. However, I can see what they're trying to do here. That, I think, in its own right, shows a semblance of where we're going to go, It's probably going to end up making us go, Edabike doesn't look terrible. Film breakdown coming out on him over the week. London's not bad. Film breakdown on him if we have time. Ritter obviously didn't play, but the draft beforehand, Dahlman, I believe, played and wasn't bad. So that's pretty good. Yeah. Ogun DJ had a penalty, but he played pretty well. AK did well. Lorenzo Carter was kind of getting there. And we haven't even put Troy Anderson out there, right? So, I don't know, man. I don't know. This seems like a team that could end up just making other teams pissed off that they have to play them. You know? Like, that's where we're at. I think you're looking at a team that if they could fix some of their small mistakes, honestly, this is an average team. 7-8, 8-7 is tangible, doable. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see how we go forward. Oh. There's a cat service. Fantastic. Hey, everybody, this is Sam. Yeah? Hello? Say hello. Okay. Say hello to Mrs. Lieutenant Dan, everybody.
Hello.
Good boy.
Does that have a Falcon shirt on it?
Yeah. True. And he's gone. Goodbye, Sam. Oh. So, yeah. 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 So, can we win games? Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure we're gonna win games. But are we gonna have to really play perfect football? Yeah, man. We're gonna have to play near perfect football to make this iteration work. Offensive line still gonna need improvement. I saw some really good things from them today, but there will be more rolling out that's going to need to happen. And the RPO was working pretty well. I mean, for what it's worth, Drake looked good. They peppered Pitts. One of these teams is going to try not to pepper Pitts, but pepper Pitts. Ha. Psycho mode. This is an interesting team with a lot of work that it needs to do. Anime Dolphin says something very, very interesting in the chat right here. That, it's still week 1. There's the NFC is not that good. I haven't even checked out the other scores of the other games. Let's go see what the NFL schedule holds. Who played and what happened. So the Bills beat the Rams. We know about that. Josh Allen's Mount Olympus, all that good stuff. Eagles beat Lions 38-35. That's good for my fantasy. Bears beat Niners. Bears beating Niners, we kind of felt like the Niners and Trey Lance, that situation could be bad. Steelers beat Bengals in overtime. Bungles. Oh, they're back. Dolphins beat Patriots. That's why Anime Dolphin is in here. He won, so he's all like, woo! Browns beat Panthers. Sorry, Baker. No way, the Colts and Texans tied. That's pretty good. Matt Ryan couldn't get the clutch win. Saints beat Falcons by 1. Okay. I mean, it happens. Ravens beat Jets. 24-9's a weird score. Makes me feel kind of strange about what the Jets are doing. Or the Ravens, excuse me. Commanders beat Jaguars 28-22. I heard something about the Jags just looking terrible, but, whatever. Vikings are beating Packers right now into the second quarter here. They're on their own 34, 17-0. Giants at halftime round right now, 13-0 over Titans over Giants right now, 13-0. Chargers are beating Raiders 17-3. Okay, so yikes. We have to play the Chargers at some point, I think. And then the Chiefs are blowing out the Cardinals 23-7. Tonight's game is Bucks and Dallas. So we have lost and the Panthers have lost. The Saints have won, so I guess if the Bucks beat the Cowboys and look good doing it, then we're probably the third best team in our division, if that, depending on, because we both lost by 2 points. I don't know. Seahawks and Broncos are the Monday night game. I don't know if I'm closing that night or if I'm opening that day. And then next week, we have to play against the Rams. The following week, we have to play against the Seahawks. So, and we'll get to see what the Seahawks look like against the Broncos tomorrow night. So that's interesting. That's a very interesting way to look at it. 10 minutes. We're going to go 10 minutes more, and if anybody has any questions, want me to throw down my opinion on those, or we have anything that we want to discuss before we get out of here, hit it up. Let's do it. Just going to look at some statistics of this Falcons loss. It's interesting that the Saints instantly woke up. If they were like that the whole game, that would be scary. I think Calvin can work in this new look offense. Yeah, he would probably be the slot guy that Zacchaeus is currently holding up, and Zacchaeus had that fumble early on in the game. So there's probably that. Taysom Hill only had 4 carries for 81 yards and a touchdown. Only. Jameis just 23 of 34 for 269 and 2 tutties, man. That's really disappointing, especially since you kind of had them at the half and even led through the third quarter, only to give them up 17 points in the fourth. That's something. Apparently, the Saints had no defense game plan for us, according to Cam Jordan, and they were able to stop us. Yeah, more teams will probably settle into that and then beat it. Five wins this year? Well, the way this game went down, I wouldn't be surprised. 5 wins, but I'm still sticking out 7. I'm still sticking out 7. They win 7 games. But that would still probably potentially put us in the top 10, top 15. 7 wins would be pretty. Ooh. 7 if we won today. No. I think we can still win 7 other games. There's still 7 games on the schedule that I'm looking at that I'm like, we could do it. We could do it. But maybe only if Ritter is in there. But I will see what Marcus does next week unless they pull the plug on him immediately. He had some really, really stupid throws at the end of the game. And even worse towards the part where they fumbled. So, Thoughts on Smith's play calling in the fourth? Conservative. Dean Pease too, conservative. But I think they didn't have any tape or any game plan on what they were going to do, so they played a lot of zone. Made it not really worth it. For the morale of the team, I mean, I guess so. If they had won, they might have been going on false bravado, but this team still has major holes. The linebackers don't look nearly as good. Even though the linebackers are blitzing well, they are run-stopping linebackers. We don't have a lot of coverage guys that are doing enough. And then offensively, we don't have an identity yet. You can tell. It's a half-baked squad. We got about 3 minutes, guys. If you guys want to get any questions in or you guys have any comments that you want me to discuss with you guys, let me know. 3 minutes. Like to see the running game back. Yeah, I did like seeing the running game kind of get to a point where it was churning and moving. And early on, we were hitting the hole quickly. Then towards the end of the game, I started seeing like toss plays and like these flicks, and Cordero's trying to do too much when he just needs to go straight forward and bounce off a guy. Like, it's just, too flashy. Bring it back down to its subtle roots, and you're going to have winning. Do you think we should add another balanced tight end? My initial thought is another balanced tight end could definitely do wonders for us, and the tight ends that we had on the back side of this ended up not doing very well. They dropped a lot of passes, and it ended up costing us. Well, actually, we didn't go to them very, very often after that. Both of our tight ends only had one reception, and both of them had 6 yards and 5 yards, respectively. Marcus has issues with the long-range game. I don't think him and his receivers are even connecting at all. Koo is an absolute legend. He signed that mega deal. It's pretty great. We need to get Pitts more involved. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice. It would be nice, But they did blanket the absolute garbage out of him. So we need to actually find a way to get him out there on good routes. Series tied, ain't it? I think so. Yeah, I think the series is tied now. This team still can't close out games. Just pathetic. I mean, let's not get too deep into that, because this is the first game of the year. We can get really deep into that if we are consistently doing that throughout the rest of this season. Bangley says he has an honest question. I think Koo would have hit it. It did get blocked, so it was a little too low. I would have loved if London went off, but it seems like he is hurt. Probably limited reps for week 1. Yeah, week 1, game 1, we got a lot to put that together. Yeah, we're going to take that crown this year. 2-0 this year. Maybe. I mean, if they keep playing it this way, then absolutely New Orleans will beat them. Absolutely. Whose fumble caused a larger issue, Oz or Mariota? Oz. The Mariota fumble was kind of like we already kind of went backwards on one play. It was during the 2-minute warning. So we could have run the ball up the middle. The Mariota one was already like after other bad things had happened. So remember the line of events here was it's right before the 2-minute warning. We run Patterson. He runs up the middle. He gets positive yardage, about 6 yards if I'm not mistaken. Then Patterson, then Mariota takes the ball, runs it off to the left because they say that it's not before the 2-minute warning. Because the Saints call a timeout right as he hit the ground. They called a timeout. Then Mariota gets the ball, has to run it off to the left, and gets hit short of the first down. Actually, at the line of scrimmage, I think actually lost a yard if it wasn't. If that's the right events. Then Mariota then ends up fumbling the ball because it hits him in the hand/chest. That string of events, things before that, play calling before that was a problem. Things after that, though, the things before that was Oz had a clean catch, should have just gone down because he wasn't going to beat those DBs, and ended up coughing the ball up. So you guys' offensive line played a hell of a game today, though. I wish we had been rolling out more Vanity, but I guess that's what they're going to be working with going forward. Kept Davenport and Cam contained. I thought that New Orleans, rivalry respected, just from non-Falcons fans' take, just a fan's take. I thought New Orleans did a great job defensively in the secondary, keeping us from really making any major, defense or offensive plays going towards the end zone without question. Which kind of it was weird. It was really weird because then it literally left it up to gamblers' chance at that point of whether or not Cordero Patterson and Marcus Mariota, because they were really the only runners, could make magic happen. Because if your defense wasn't on point, they ran those big plays. And we saw those. They happened. If they were on point, though, it was at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage. The OL actually performed well today. Could we make better additions so we could have more consistent play all over? Not just against New Orleans, but against a lot of other guys. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's the interesting discussion. That's the recipe, because if these guys do well enough, we might end up just adding one piece, maybe two maximum, and then everything else will be defensive minded, which, I mean, even AK-47 did a good job today. So defensively, I don't even know if the Falcons could potentially want like a Will Anderson, in the 2023 draft, because I don't know if it would make sense. This defense, playing as a 34 defense, actually worked very well. But the containment, like against Jameis and Jameis's arm, which when he's locked in, he's locked in. It's hard to stop that when your DBs are playing just so piss poor. Like it's very, very weird. But it was interesting. It's very interesting. I mean, he smoked him a couple of times on some throws that I was like, damn, Jameis came out to play. It was good. Yeah, I mean, again, yeah. Questionable calls in the fourth. All right, y'all. It's time for me to get out of here. Yeah. Michael Thomas did do a very, very good job. Vanity World coming in with some pretty good takes as a resident Saints fan, from what I understand. Yeah. That's a big body wide receiver to have to beat. So it's very interesting how the Falcons have decided to combat this. But I hope that Smith does better as we continue to move forward. I just hope that wasn't the whole playbook, man. And maybe we have to have Ritter in there, who's a more willing thrower, versus a Mariota, who's a more willing runner. Which is a question that we will never know the answer to until we get to that crossroads. And I don't think it's going to be this coming week. Yeah. It's very weird to watch the youngins, because the youngins for the Saints, you could see, ooh, this could be something special if they put something together. The youngins for the Falcons, you're going, man, I don't know, because there's also other factors going on here that's slowing down the pace of this offense from a play calling standpoint, from situational standpoint. So it's like, ooh, Kyle Pitts and Drake London could be a really, really scary future if you could get them going, But it's interesting. Yeah. I'd like to see them use both quarterbacks as they, kind of what they were doing with New Orleans. I think you do the same thing with Marcus Mariota, who can throw. It's just I would bring Ritter in as the guy soon. Probably in the Seahawks game. I totally agree with you, Vanity. I think that's actually 100% correct. They didn't do a lot of play action. They didn't do a lot of rollout. And didn't we hear who was the commentator today? Who was the commentator? He was making fantastic takes. A Saints player. Vilma? Was it Vilma? Vilma was up there? Yeah, true. When they did make Marcus really, really, really uncomfortable. But you guys backed off a lot. But the the takes from the Jonathan Vilma could. So Vilma was making these amazing takes about our team, being very unbiased, which was actually really refreshing. Did anybody else catch that? It was really weird. But the last thing I'm going to say is they made it really, really, really refreshing to be like, yeah, I like what this Falcons team is doing, but there are some really, really glaring things here that maybe if a Desmond Ridder was in there, you're making different calls. But Marcus and this offense obviously don't look like they're, like it doesn't look like the cogs are fitting exact. New Orleans is going to be an average to above average team, and if they can have health throughout their season, which, I don't want any team to get hurt, even our rivals. But if they can stay healthy, that's a team that's just a pain in the arse to fight every single week. That's a playoff team. That's a team that actually can be a playoff team. This team, it needs like 5 weeks. And you hope you don't lose 5 straight games. You know what I mean? But we'll have to see what Tampa looks like tonight, because New Orleans might be the best team in our division if Tampa comes out flat. If Tampa comes out flat and Dallas is actually good enough to overcome one of their offensive line injuries, ooh, boy. But the Falcons just don't have the playbook set, and I think Vanity said it in the chat. They just don't have the identity. Like, they just don't have it. But you can see that the cake is in the oven. It's just not made yet. It's just not. It's not a cake that's done. Yeah. But they kind of look like they could be the Raiders or the Titans. But could we be the Falcons? That's the question. Can we be a team that doesn't replicate another team and has our own specific identity? And that is where we have to find out if Arthur Smith is the guy. So it begins here. All right, guys. Peace. Hair grease. Rise up. Stay grounded. Thank you so much for following the channel. Coming in here, make sure that you hit that like button, hit that notification bell to be notified of all future uploads. Rookie videos coming out this coming week. Definitely going to be Drake London. Other rookie video that we could do, I could put out 2, but I think I want to start with Drake London and see how I feel. So we'll go with good game, Vanity. Good game. We could go with Drake London. Or we could go with AK-47. What do you guys want to see? What do you guys want to see? AK-47 or Drake? That's up to y'all. So I want to see raise of hands. Who wants to see Drake London and who wants to see AK? Vanity goes Drake London, Boy Bangley AK, Matthew London. Some Saints fans not going to break that down. True. Ooh, we getting some people for Drake, boy. I see people running around saying Drake. I'll take like 5 more votes. Anybody else want to vote? Because right now it's Drake. All right. Well, that's kind of all the peeps that I write. I'm going to watch Drake London and put that video out, and if it's good, if it reaches a certain number, then we'll do the AK video. But I'll do some AK film and just have it covered. Cover the run game some too. We'll definitely have to look at that. As someone who has a full-time job, though, I probably will only be able to put out 1 or 2 videos maximum. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, and we'll see if they're reading or if they're not reading or whatever. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys follow us at UNGR_show on Twitter and on Instagram. Make sure that you guys check us out here on Unintentional Grounding or at the Twitch feed, twitch.tv/gamingwith_LTDan. Hit us up. Take it easy, and I will talk to you guys again real soon. Peace.